Tell us what some of the volunteer needs that you have are around here.
Okay, sometimes when our clients comes, they've been in abusive situations for so long that their abuser might not let them go have their hair done. They might not have been into a beauty shop in years, and that's something they need. And maybe there's somebody out there that can do nails. Makes a girl feel pretty, make her feel good about herself. And everybody has a talent. You don't have to have a whole lot of money to donate, but everybody has a talent, and it takes a whole community to, to do what we need.
I'm the court advocate for Victims Services of Cullman. I go to court with victims when they're requesting a protection order, which is protection from abuse order. I go for a moral support, for positive input, and if the client has questions, if I can answer them, I will. Most of the time, I'm just there to help them through the process.
I run the Domestic Violence Intervention Program, the DVIP. We work to change the behavior of the perpetrators and the abusers, looking at their actions, looking at their intentions, looking at their belief, and just trying to change their cycle and to save their families.
Well, so this strikes me as really the key to breaking the cycle of domestic violence everywhere, because whether it's a male or female that's a perpetuator, I think a lot of cases those people are in an unconscious behavior pattern that they don't even know they're doing. It seems normal to them.
Yeah.
And if I'm understanding what you do right, you're trying to break that cycle in there, right?
We're trying to end that
and make them
cycle.
conscious of it.
Right. To show them that how their parents acted or how their dad might have treated them or their mom is not acceptable for them to now do to their families.
We have big things planned for Victim Services of Cullman, Alabama. We're planning on making a whole brand new culture, a whole new atmosphere, a new brand to offer to the community.
Well, now you were in your remarks today at lunch, you were talking about various things, statistics. What kind of shocked me, and I heard this a while back, but I hadn't thought about it, Cullman County is #1 in the entire state of Alabama for sexual abuse, right?
Yes, and third in the state for domestic violence.
So there's plenty for you to do here, which is probably come as a shock to some people. Tell us what you're doing initially.
Initially, to start off, what we're actually doing right now is remodeling on the inside of Victim Services, and then we'll go from there, trying to outreach in the community, which we're kind of doing a little bit about doing that now. There are many different things that we're working on for the ladies in collaboration with other different entities within the community, and we're trying to reach out to them for educational benefits, or whether it be furniture, whatever the case may be, when these ladies come and they need our support.
I'm the child advocate at Victim Services. I advocate for the children at the shelter and also outside the shelter. I also give parenting classes once a week to any parents that would like a parenting class.
I have worked at the office for several years now as the bookkeeper, and I have worked there in the past as a court advocate. I'm a 20-year survivor of domestic violence, and I'm glad to be a part of this because it does hold a special place in my heart.
I'm usually the first one our client sees when they come in. My job is to overseeing of the shelter, meeting all of the clients' needs.
Now, how many folks do you have in your shelter at any given time?
It ranges from maybe 4 to 20. We can bed up to 27.
And so what happens is through the court system or some other means, mainly ladies, I guess, come in, and this is a protective environment. It's undisclosed, and you basically give them a safe haven, right?
That's it. It doesn't have to be just women. Men get abused just like women do.
And so you allow men into the facility?
We do.
And I'm a specialist currently working at Victim Services. I just started now that they're turning a new leaf. I'm very excited to be a part of this and be a part of the change that's coming. I've been personally involved with the Harbor House years ago as my daughter was needing services. And at that time, as a parent, I was appalled at her treatment, but I couldn't have her in my home due to the danger to the rest of my family. So I'm very excited to be a part of this and the change, and to be able to help others coming in, and maybe even other parents feel at ease that their children are there.
And it consists of helping form clients when they're moving out and then starting over to get deposit monies, or if something comes up and they need their locks changed on their doors or something of that nature, then I can help with that as well, to get monies for that through a program that we have out of Montgomery.
Let me ask you a question. Emotionally, how do you handle that? Because dealing with children in difficulty, their parents, that's got to be tricky.
It's a little difficult at times.
So what gives you the emotional makeup where you can do that? It strikes me that not everyone can do what you do.
I'm not sure. I mean, I go home to my own children and give them hugs and just be thankful that I have my children.
It gives you a bit of comparison, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
To offer any help, suggestions, or make any type of donations to help what we do, and that's to provide services for domestic violence.
So let me ask you a real-world practical question. Let's say you have some perpetrator in here, and you're talking to them, you're working with them. When that light goes off in their head and they go, wow, I didn't know I was like that, what does that look like? I mean, how does that person typically experience the epiphany of going, I'm an abuser, I shouldn't do this?
It's usually, unfortunately, it's usually not that light bulb moment. We're a 24-week, 6-month program, so it's a very slow learning process, and we dissect their behavior just little thing by little thing. So one week we might cover honesty and accountability. The next week we might cover trust and support. Next week then we might look at what emotional abuse looks like. And by doing it that way and very slowly, they
evolve into a better being.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they slowly evolve, and they slowly learn what good behavior is versus bad behavior.
Now, I've talked to many members of your staff. You've inherited a good group. They know what they're doing, it seems like to me.
Absolutely.
Now,
We're trying to re-educate, to change the pathology that these individuals have, because you're right, the perpetrators, they think it's okay because that's what they've more than likely grown up in, and that's all that they've ever known. And as well as the victims themselves, sometimes we can be preconditioned based on the way that we were raised to accept these things out of the perpetrators.
Now, let's say someone in the community has got a problem. You're going to hear that from the court system, the judicial branch, law enforcement, but let's say there's people out there who need help, who don't have that avenue or haven't got to that point yet. How can they interact with your office? Let's say they're just out there someplace and they feel like they're abused, they don't have options, no place to go. Can they come to you?
Absolutely. We do also have a 24-hour crisis line, in which most people do. That's how they get in touch with us. That's how they will reach us. If you call our office, which is at 256-775-2600, it would automatically ring over to the crisis line. And we also have the crisis line that would ring automatically, which is like, I believe that number is 256-734-6100.
And so anything you need in the way of, if you think you're a victim or you are a victim, you've got a direction you can take people, right?
Absolutely. If you know someone who's a victim, we know how to get you where you need to be.
Now, emotionally for you, is it hard?
It's very rewarding. I see the girls come in so broken. And then by the time they leave, they're able to get out and get jobs. They're able to live in the community and survive. And so it's very, very rewarding. We see a lot of sad stuff also, and it just breaks my heart. But then when we see them leave the shelter, and they're so happy, and they get their own apartments, they can decorate their own apartments, and survive, have a job. So it's all worth it.
It puts everything in perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.